Is Juan Soto actually bad at baseball? Guys, everybody's getting upset about how Juan Soto is performing right now in Queens, but honestly, guys, is it an overreaction, or are these Mets fans justified? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bad for Baseball, the baddest baseball podcast on the internet, presented to you by Betway. I'm Adam Peddle, joined alongside by Nicholas Playalog. Listen, guys. We're two Blue Jays fans. We're hearing that everybody's upset about Juan Soto and the massive contract that he got. And honestly, I think that offends me just a little bit that people are upset with what he's doing right now. And what he's doing, honestly, isn't that bad. We're going to break it down and more and get some reactions of what Mets fans are saying in this podcast. Before we do, hit that like button and smash the subscribe button on Bad for Baseball. First initial reactions, Nick. When you hear that Juan Soto is bad, he's busted, terrible, what do you think?
You guys don't know how good you have it, all right? Seriously, the life of luxury that you have been living must be nice, because when I look over at Juan Soto's numbers, okay, I don't see what did he get paid? 600 odd?
650, something million like that.
I don't see that, obviously, right? A 777 OPS, good, right? Still above average, 123 OPS plus, but the batting average significantly lower than where he typically resides. The on-base percentage, 50 points lower than where he typically resides. Across the rest of the board, though, RBIs are there, runs are there. I mean, still good, but yeah, not a $650 million player. But then going over to the Baseball Savant page, looking at what is causing these numbers to be this way.
I don't see one.
I see a lot of red right there, and it is indicating to me that these numbers are going to go back to where they always fucking live.
Yeah. But the launch angle sweet spot is really low right now.
Yeah, it's killing him.
Yeah, obviously Juan Soto's a generational player, and when I look at Juan Soto and his early struggles, it's gonna all round out. You just got to give this guy some time. But there's a lot of people that are getting on Juan Soto, not just for the lack of also what he's doing in terms of production and on base and slugging and what have you, but also what it looks like on the field. The eyeball test by a lot of these Mets fans are indicating that this guy doesn't look like he really gives a shit. And there's a few examples right here. A few weeks ago, there was an example of him hitting a ball off of the wall in Red Sox, off the Green Monster, and he only got a single because of it, and everyone started booing him.
You thought it was a home run. He pimped it a little bit. Yeah. Probably should have been running out of the box a bit better. I mean, I'll say that about anyone.
Yeah.
And I just think that honestly, that is that's a problem just in general in baseball.
Yeah, we gotta run out our heads.
Yeah, exactly. That's got to be instilled in people, from a very young age. Because I've seen everyone do it from under the sun, right? And so I'm not giving him an excuse in any capacity. I think that you should be running that shit out. Because maybe you could have ended up at second base. Maybe that could have been a double. Maybe that could have changed things. I don't know. But everybody should be doing that. Another example that you brought up to me just before recording was these couple at-bats here, again, against the Boston Red Sox. This is against Garrett Crochet right here. Now, we can't play the full clip for you, but you'll probably find it on Twitter somewhere. You may have already seen it at this point. Soto effectively looks at 3 pitches. Doesn't swing the bat a single time. And 2 of them, at the very least, you could make a very strong argument as to why you should be swinging the baseball bat. He then, after this bad at-bat, comes in later in the game and does the exact same thing over again. And people are speculating, well, what the fuck, dude? This is so bad that it looks like you're not putting effort in. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's funny. If anybody else had those 2 at-bats against Garrett Crochet, you wouldn't even bat an eye. You'd be like, this guy in the 9th spot, you just got overmatched by
that's the thing, right? I think you just be like, oh, this guy's just better than you,
But then it's Juan Soto, and he's getting paid a lot of money. You got to swing the bat, and look, obviously it's not a good look, but it's 2 at bats during what is a very rough stretch right now for Juan Soto. We can all agree, the media is starting to get on him, the fans are starting to get on him, and he's a little bit in his dome right now. I've got his last little bit here, little game logs, and you could see that ever since that Red Sox series. Let's go back to New York. That's when the struggles really began. Baseball Reference isn't popping up right here, but I had it up earlier. He's batting 170 with an OPS under 500. It's a very bad stretch. So it could be a combination of this guy's in his dome or whatever. But then some people might make the argument, well, you're not getting paid money to be in your dome. You're getting paid money to put up numbers right now and be good always. Is that fair to Juan Soto?
Look, that's fair to an extent, but, there's also the same point where these are human beings, and, look, if these numbers ended up finishing this way when the season is all said and done, and Juan Soto is batting, low 200s and the OPS in there, all right. Now we can have a conversation, because what the fuck, dude? We just paid you all this money and you put up a terrible full season?
Yeah.
Okay, totally. But nowhere in that contract does it stipulate that every single month of time Soto needs to be doing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I still believe in the guy wholeheartedly. I do understand where fans are coming from, but at the same point, you are winning right now.
That's the thing,
right?
man.
You are winning. And I will also leave New York Mets fans with this. If Juan Soto is such a bust and he's stealing all your money, you willing to trade him?
Yeah, exactly. I bet you wouldn't be willing
to trade him, right?
I don't think it's got a no trade clause, but let's say
but that's the thing, right? Because I guarantee all of these New York Mets fans that are, like screaming, and just baseball fans in general, that are getting on this guy right now, if you ask them, okay, we'll tell you what, we'll give you our best guys, you give us Juan Soto, they're walking out of the room and saying, hell no.
Yeah.
Because they know in the back of their heads that, you know what, we are being a little ridiculous right now.
Do you want to get Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? Because let me tell you this. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., if he had to start like this, I'd be like, that's Vlad.
Yep.
That's exactly what he does. I mean, in fact, like we got it right up here. Literally, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. got paid $500 million, third highest player. Yeah. Not that far off from what he's doing. Low 800 OPS, less home runs, less WAR. And I'm not here complaining.
No, actually, I think this is a great start for Vlad.
This is a great start for Vlad.
I love it.
Because I know when I look at Vladdy's baseball reference, or Savant, excuse me, I know that he's going to have a good second half. Like, look at, even less, in terms of the Reds right there on the screen, but even less. So it's all fine and dandy. Now, you brought up a good point that, it's not really affecting the Mets season at all right now. You still got the Mets that are second in the NL. Yes, I know their offense has been struggling, and that's the word on the street, but they just went and beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
So if you could beat the Dodgers, that's a pretty good stretch for you right now. I think the Mets are going to be personally fine, especially when you pair them up with that great pitching staff that they've emerged out of nowhere. So for me, Juan Soto's going to be fine. He's going to give you a nice resurgence in June or July, and you're going to forget all about the first 2
Dude, I just think that when you're a team as hyped up as New York Mets, and when you're a team that wins the offseason year in and year out, also like the New York Mets, the fans have this growing expectation that there will never, ever be a rough stretch at any given moment in time, and that 110 to 120 wins is a guarantee and it's a lock. And that's just a fallacy. That's just actually not true. You are still a phenomenal baseball team, a team that I certainly would not want to run into, and a team that, should I be a fan of, I would be extremely proud of. You're in the mix right now for the division. Yeah, Philadelphia is on one hell of a hot streak, so credit where credit is due. They're doing great, but you're very much in the mix for the division. Hell, you might even be in the mix for the best record in the National League when everything is said and done. So I think you just take a pause right now, take your win over those LA Dodgers, keep that one in the bank, and I would anticipate that, come June, you will be right back there at the top.
Absolutely, guys. Well, speaking of that NL East, if you want to make a bet on the winner of the NL East, go check out Betway, everybody. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the details to join the action. Yes, the Phillies are the favorite at 183, but the Mets, if you're a believer, 240. All right, 240.
I don't hate that at all, man.
I don't at all.
I personally look at this division right now, and it seems like kind of a coin flip between Philadelphia and New York. I know that Philadelphia is 9-1 in their last 10, and they do have 2 games over New York, but still, we are very early on in the season. Anything can happen. They're going to go through some rough patches. New York's going to get hot. Flip a coin. I'll take New York Mets at 240 there.
I would take that as well. But, guys, you let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you panicking about Juan Soto and the New York Mets? If you are, I would love to hear why. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to Bad for Baseball, guys, and we'll catch you next time.
Cheers.